So apparently Viagra was trending the other day. And this is the reason.
There appear to be growing connections between Viagra and treatment for the coronavirus. A nurse in the UK just woke up from a 28-day coma after she got a big dose of Viagra, probably her first. One healthcare company is providing coronavirus tests along with their ED medication. Who thought Viagra would save us from the pandemic? Dr. Mark Siegel might have predicted it. He's our Fox News medical cheer. Man, we go.
Bro, motherfuckers will do anything just to not get the fucking vaccine, okay? I love these COVID cures, okay? They're my favorite because people are subjecting themselves to the dumbest shit. Like, some of this stuff is obviously dangerous, and like false cures are actually really dangerous overall because like it pushes you away from getting the vaccine, which is, you know, free and safe. And that's not good because, you know, hospitals are getting overloaded, yada yada. But when you stop thinking about that for a brief moment and just like focus on some of these psychotic cures, it's pretty funny. There's a guy who's advocating to like shove your own urine up your nose, like neti pot your own nose with your own fucking urine. I mean, that's great, dude. I mean, that's pretty funny. Like, you can't, that's undefeated. You know what I mean? You can't not laugh at that. I mean, I'm pro neti potting with urine.
I guess it's time to take Viagra.
So that's funny. There's another one that's like, you know, people are taking T blockers like finasteride and shit. I mean, they're not like super severe T blockers, so it doesn't really matter. But it's like finasteride, I take it as well. You know what I mean? It's like prostate medication. But yeah, the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance is an organization of quack doctors who advocate for ivermectin and various other ineffective treatments. And now some of the things that they're fucking shilling are basically finasteride and spironolactone, which I didn't even know what this is, but finasteride I take as well. A lot of dudes take it. It's like the only FDA approved anti-balding medication. It is to block out your DHT, which is a type of testosterone. It's a DHT blocker. When you produce DHT, it starts closing off some of the hair follicles that you have at the top of your dome. Now motherfuckers are just like forcibly feminizing themselves, I guess. You know what else with balding? HRT. Yeah. I take spironolactone for the bad heart. Do you feel side effects too? Just curious, Andy. Here, my hair is thinning. It's not for everybody. When I first started taking like 1 milligram, like the full dose, it wasn't great. I definitely started getting like way more emotional. It didn't have like a good effect on me, but then I now take half of it, and it's fine. It's great. So why do you have such a quick temper? No, I've always had a quick temper. I took it for a couple months. When in the beginning, like this was like 2 years ago. I took it for a couple months, like the full 1 milligram, and it absolutely was like way, way worse than how I am now. Did you notice an effect on your hairline? I mean, look, I'm not a doctor, you know, you do it on your own, but I noticed that my hairline was receding, certainly, and then I started taking it, and it hasn't receded since then. But yeah, I've done like a whole stream on my hairline. Me and what do you call it? Austin had a whole hairline stream. And then what was it? More Plates, More Dates actually did a video on it too. Without insurance, I mean, there's like ways around it. For the record, it's really expensive even with insurance because insurance doesn't cover it because you know, they're misinterests. Okay, the feminist conspiracy. Insurance doesn't fucking cover finasteride for the most part, and it's really fucked up. God damn it, America. Okay, because They're just anti-men. Let's be real. But yeah, there's definitely a way to get it for cheap on the internet. Him sells finesse ride in Cialis on Uber Eats now in Miami. Dude, America is a libertarian paradise, dude. It's crazy. Topical minoxidil works wonders. Topical minoxidil works in 30% of men. It has like a 100% effectiveness in only 30% of men, and it's like a 1 or a 0. If you're the 70% of men that minoxidil doesn't work on, then GG's, you know, no Rogaine for you. It doesn't work. But if you're lucky, if you're part of the fucking 30%, you'll get hypertension. Oh shit. Is that where that comes from? Maybe I should stop fucking using minoxidil on my head. Maybe I am getting hypertension from that. It's a gamba. Oh yeah? Then why aren't tampons covered by insurance? Because the insurance industry are free bleeders. That's why. They're so pro-feminist that they don't even give a shit. I lost most of my hair by 22 years. Is looking strong as fuck, King. Thank you. Anyway, let's get back to it. So this is like a pretty funny cure, I think. This is a pretty funny cure. Minoxidil stain your pillow? No. I have great hair on my head, but I wish I had a hairy chest, so I used low-dose minoxidil and it didn't work. Oh, fuck? Bro, embrace yourself, okay? And the way you look. What the fuck? Don't do that, dude. Chest hair is gross. Trust. You're crazy. You're lucky. Trust me. Anyway, big bald head shine lobbies against finasteride being covered in insurance. You work out? If so, your cardio or muscle mass? I do cardio. I do cardiovascular exercises. I do strength and conditioning exercises that also feature both cardio and also strength weight training at the same time. That's the hardest one for me. And then I also do weightlifting, which is the easiest. I can weightlift with my fucking eyes closed. I can basically fucking bench press while I'm sleeping, okay? Because I've been bodybuilding for a very long time. So that is the easiest shit for me. Working out and weightlifting, I love it. It's super fucking easy. I'm super used to it, okay? However, the hardest thing for me is strength and conditioning. So it's like half cardio, half like striking, you know, fight training, shit like that, where it's both cardio and also strength training. It is incredibly fucking hard. It fucking murders me, okay? I can now do cardio well too. I've like gotten a lot better on doing cardio. I do a lot more cardio. I row like a motherfucker. I do that LeBron James stairwell thing that he loves. I couldn't do it at all before. What was it called? What's the fucking thing called? Yeah, my back is a lot better, yes. God damn it. No, it's not a Stairmaster. It's like you're climbing a ladder. Not an elliptical. VersaClimber. Thank you, Derek. I do the VersaClimber. I do skis. I do on the rowing machine. I row. I bike on the what is it called, the assault bike or whatever. Like I sprint on the bike. Stuff like that is not that bad. It used to be really bad, but I can absolutely do it easily now. Like I'm a lot better with cardio. However, I know where my weaknesses are, and it's like straight up. My biggest weaknesses are like fight training, shit like that. It is so hard. Anyway. But remember, if I can do it, you can too. Especially because like I was so insanely out of shape. I was incredibly in shape, and then I fucking was incredibly out of shape after like fucking myself for an entire year and a half. Nonstop fucking myself. Like sitting down, sitting down, not doing anything, like literally fucking streaming like a motherfucker. I gained a lot of weight. My muscles atrophied. Obviously my advantage there is still that I had the musculature, or at least like I didn't have definition, but it was easier for me to build back to my original, I had the muscle memory, yes, so I could like originally build it back to where I was at. But it is really fucked up when you're actually you're at a certain point, and then you lose it all, because then you're like fucking constantly comparing to where you used to be. But I was able to overcome it, and I'm working out every day, so you can do that as well. And yes, you can get into a routine without a trainer or a gym, of course. Without a gym, I can't speak on that. I've always been a gym member. But yeah, best way to lose weight is, of course, watching your caloric intake. Absolutely. Here's a quick tip before we move on from this and get back to the Viagra. The last tip I will tell you is this, and this is what I told my mom too, because like she tries to work out at home. Weight bands, like resistance bands, are pretty good. Okay, having like a couple dumbbells here and there are pretty good. Most of you are so significantly out of shape that like you're gonna have to use your body weight regardless. And no matter what happens, if you're not getting enough resistance from your body weight, then split it in half. Use one leg instead of two. Use one arm instead of two. All of a sudden, that's doubly as hard, okay? So that's how it is. Straight up. You're the soft soy here, mate? Yeah, totally. I love when motherfuckers say that. Like I posted about Chad Vice, and there were like people with anime PFPs being like, none of these motherfuckers are Chads. It's like, dude, Austin is straight up shredded, okay? Austin is straight up shredded. Okay, Ethan, not the traditional Chad person, and I look the way I do. It's kind of funny that like people were just like trying to get an own by being like, you guys are soy boys and you look like shit. Like, bro, have you seen yourself? I mean, I guess not, because you hide the way you look, but let me see if I can find the quotes. He's like, this is what I'm talking about. Chad Vice? Don't you mean Cuck Vice? Don't care what you think about these three. This kind of progressive life advice is important. Okay, that's nice. Grifters, money, gold. Turk, secretly gay dude, and an obese Jew. Wait, secretly gay dude? Wait. Homie said Austin is secretly gay. Anyway, so quote tweets are always so fucking nasty. It's so funny though. A Turk, a Jew, and a pedo LARP is Chaz. There's no punchline unless you guys want to queue up to punch them. Like, when you're so lost in the fucking sauce that you think like calling someone a Jew or a Turk is like a slur. You know what I mean? Like, or gay. Homies are out here using fucking like Goblin Slayer PFPs while talking like they're living in the 1950s. You know what I mean? It's like, what, dude, you would be locked up into a fucking facility, okay, in a straitjacket for 24 hours throughout the day before they ultimately put one in the back of your head for the behavior that you exhibit right now in 2022 if you were to live in, 1950s. So just because you talk like Clint Eastwood doesn't mean that like you're from that era or you have that kind of fucking, you would have been fine in that era, okay? Straight up. You are a fucking weeb, okay? You spend all of your time on 4chan. You are not even succeeding in today's conditions where like society is very understanding and forgiving for, deranged psychos like you. It's pretty funny to try to LARP as like you're living in 1950s. All right, let's keep going.
Go to
Viagra.
joins us tonight to explain. Doctor?
Tucker, we've been talking about Viagra. We talked about it last week about Alzheimer's, and we're doing further investigations on it now. As you said, Monica Almeida, 37 years old, she was 72 hours away from having her respirator turned off. They gave her a massive dose of Viagra, and she woke up. Now, what might the connection be there? Well, I started looking into that. A study just published out of Chile in a journal called Critical Care found that this patient studied did not go on the respirator who got Viagra, and they actually went out of the hospital sooner. Now, why would that be? Viagra is not just used for what you think it's used for. It also treats lung problems. It improves blood flow to the lungs. It improves oxygen in the lungs. It treats pulmonary hypertension. It treats altitude sickness. It makes something called nitric oxide. Now, nitric oxide is something that the COVID virus decreases, and Viagra increases. And not only was there this study out of Chile, Tucker, but there was several studies around the world that if you inhaled that nitric oxide, your lungs did a lot better with COVID. Japan, China, Scandinavia all had studies like this showing a big improvement with nitric oxide, just what Viagra does. So I think this is the beginning of something, and further studies are going on, and I think this is a potential treatment. And then you mentioned along comes a company called Roman. And the New York Times, of all places, wrote this up the other day and said, Roman, which is a company that actually you can prescribe Viagra over a telemedicine, is now giving home COVID tests. Home COVID tests, you can't get them anywhere, but you can get them via telemedicine, via this company, Roman, and guess what you can get with the home test? You can get Viagra. So I have only one question, and I'm going to call Roman to find out. Tucker, which do you take first, the Viagra, or do you do the home test? I don't know. Tucker?
I think I know. Well, as you said, if you take, and I'm quoting, a massive dose of Viagra, you wake up. So I think it's pretty obvious.
What is going on, bro? First of all, I mean, this is catering to your target audience so well. Remember how yesterday we were talking about people who say stuff like, oh, being introverted is a superpower. Like, even if you're, even if you have a lot of social anxiety, that's actually a good thing. Like Bill Gates had social anxiety because they recognize that like that's the audience that they're talking to, right? It's the Sigma male shit, This is that version for the fucking geriatrics, okay? They're already bricked up. There's a reason why Viagra ads run nonstop on fucking Fox News alongside Michael Pillow's pillows, because they're saying to their target market of 65-plus-year-olds that already take Viagra that, it's actually good. It'll cure your COVID. Nice. What? Self-proclaimed rabbit capitalist has started a new based politics podcast and website. I don't care. I don't know who the fuck this is. Why do I give a shit? What is that? Is that newsworthy? Like some rando fucking decided to do a podcast? Also good for a sick pump in the gym. I've heard this before as well. Yes. Yeah, just don't get tested. Don't get the vaccine, God forbid. Okay. But Viagra, excellent. Okay. And by the way, if it works, then that's fucking dope. Like, don't get me wrong. I am not a fucking weirdo. Okay. I'm not the type of dude who's going to be like, oh yeah, let's not do that. Okay. If something works and there is enough like actual medical research on it, okay, enough peer-reviewed studies on it, and it's effective, then fuck yeah, dude. Why wouldn't you? Why the fuck would you not? Okay.
The other top stories.
Anyway, this is